Okie dokie. In this video, we're going to be ranking the Before trilogy, and um, the Before trilogy consists of Before Sunrise, which you can somewhat kind of see here. Before Sunrise, um, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. And you can probably guess what times of day these movies take place in. But um, there's also about 9 to 10 years in between when each movie takes place, as well as I think 8 or 9 years between release dates. Um, so yeah. In last place is going to be Before Sunset. Um, and funny enough, this is actually the first one I watched before I knew it was part of a trilogy. And I was like, I feel like I'm missing quite a bit of information here when I first watched it. And that's because it's part of a trilogy. um, and then shortly after I got Before Midnight, I watched that one for the first time and was like, okay, now I have two pieces of the story, but where did this all begin? And that was with our runner-up, Before Sunrise. Before Sunrise, the reason Before Sunrise is our runner-up. It is while it is the beginning of the trilogy um, and I did thoroughly enjoy the movie. Um, I thought um, they could have given other characters more lines because the two main characters, these two, um, have about 95% of the lines in the whole movie. They just talk and talk, 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 talk throughout the whole movie. The whole movie is just those two talking pretty much. Um, Same with Before Sunset. They do a lot of talking in that one, those two characters again, and they catch up on what's been going on in their lives for the last 10 or so years since they saw each other in Before Sunrise. Um, and the guy here, I want to say his name is Jesse something. Jesse had ended up getting married, and Celine, that's her, um, was still single, but or wasn't married. She was seeing someone, but um, it didn't quite have the same magic that her and Jesse had in their relationships together. And then in my favorite of the trilogy is Before Midnight, where once again the main Celine and Jesse talk a lot, but this time it seems to have the most even spread of other characters talking as well. So it's not just primarily those two. um, but um, basically, Jesse's a novelist, and so he wrote a book about the events of the first movie and was writing a second book during or that was pretty much about what if this girl and I ever met up again? Will we get married? Will we have kids? Whatever. Um, that's basically what they talk about a lot in this one. And then in this one, two of that, he's gotten divorced. Um, and he has a son with his ex-wife, um, which is introduced here, where his son is like 5. And in this one, I believe he's like 12 or 13 or something, or just getting ready to go into high school or something like that. And they have two 7-year-old twin daughters together. After his divorce, they got married, Selena and Jesse, and then um, they have quite the argument slash full blown fight, like like yelling at each other type fight in a hotel room and nearly destroy their marriage. However, um, Jesse uh, being as clever and wordy as he can be, um, uh, claims that he came back from the future where he was talking to Celine's 80-year-old self, who still looked as good as she does in the present day of the movie, according to the characters, um, and says that the events that transpire tonight change both of their lives for the better, and it's a night that Celine's character at age 80 is still talking about several years later. Because I think they're in their late 40s or early 50s in this movie, or somewhere in there. Um, but yeah, it's a really interesting way to close out a trilogy. Um, it leaves you wanting to know more of the story. So hopefully they make maybe another trilogy, maybe about their twin daughters meeting guys the way that they met. Um, but yeah, uh, my next ranking is, you might be able to guess what the ranking is going for with one of the titles being included in it, but it's definitely an unconventional trilogy and not, it hasn't been marketed as a trilogy, but as on a character development level for me, I'm making it a trilogy. But definitely unconventional, like I said, and you'll find out why in the next video. For now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Um, I do my best to check my comments and respond when I see them. So there you go. I will be checking back with you with my third trilogy ranking here, a trilogy of trilogies.